Welcome to the Buckwheat episode of Cooking with Martha with guest chef Dr. Edward Morofsky. Welcome, Dr. Morofsky.
Thank you, Basha.
So, Dad, I hear that you're going to cook us some buckwheat. Why don't you tell us about buckwheat?
Some people may not know buckwheat, but I'm sure their grandparents knew it. Used to be a family staple. It's called buckwheat, but of course it's not a grain. I think it's a fruit, actually, but it can be used for the same purposes of wheat. The only difference is it's much healthier and tasty. And importantly, for people who are having trouble digesting gluten, it has no gluten. So cooking it for breakfast is quite easy. I'm just going to show you a method that makes it a little tastier, a great way to get introduced to buckwheat if you don't know about it.
All right, I'm going to ask you a couple questions if that's okay.
Sure.
So where can I get buckwheat?
You can get it in specialty stores. We can buy it in the Jewish bakery around the corner from us, but it tends to be a little expensive. Here in Ottawa at the bulk barn, they're almost giving it away. You shovel it into a bag and take it home. I keep mine in a glass jar, and it's really very cheap.
Okay, and so sorry, you said that during this episode, what kind of buckwheat are you going to make?
Just breakfast buckwheat. Put it in a bowl and with or without milk, depending on whether you're allergic to milk.
Okay, so you can eat it for breakfast, but I'm sure you can have it as a side for lunch and dinner, right?
And you can make bread out of it, and buckwheat flour, you can make pancakes, all sorts of things.
And I'm sure you can find it in this whole form, but you could probably find it in a flour form, just like you mentioned?
Indeed, you can.
Okay, let's get started.
So here we have a skillet on medium. I cook it in butter, but any kind of oil is fine. Just drop it in the pan after the butter melts. Most buckwheat is toasted, but a little extra in the frying pan brings out the flavor. And of course, for people who don't mind onions for breakfast, like me, I usually add some onions as well. Okay, so we've had it going for a few minutes. You can begin to smell the toasting of the buckwheat. Depends on whether you like strong flavor or not, but we have a top course for the pan, and I'm going to add a cup of water. With the top and let it cook. How do we know how much water? You just watch it and add more if needed. Usually if you cook buckwheat in a pot, from the beginning it's 10 or 15 minutes. It's a little less in the frying pan because of that initial toasting and braising. It's been on for about 5 minutes. You can smell the buckwheat. You can tell when it's done by tasting it. But with buckwheat, you can't really go wrong. If you have good teeth and you like to chew, it doesn't take long. And if you like your breakfast mushy, it's probably 15 minutes. But we'll let it cook and come back in a few minutes. Needs a little more water, and that should hold it.
So you knew it needed more water because you tasted it and they were kind of hard and they were harder than you liked?
And there was no water left.
Roger.
Okay, about 7 minutes, I think. Just going to taste it. It just needs a minute or two more. I think some salt and pepper, depending on what your doctor told you. And we'll let it alone for 2 more minutes.
Okay, so I have some questions. Do you need to have a lid on this?
A lid is advisable, yes.
And I know this takes, between 5 and 10 minutes to cook. Can you walk away during this process, or?
If you walk away, you should put it on low, but I'm assuming you're doing other things in the kitchen for breakfast, so you just need to look at it now and then.
Okay, and basically during this entire time we kept it between medium and medium high, right?
Medium plus or minus, yeah.
Okay, so you tasted it and it tasted good?
It is ready to eat.
Yum.
Of course, we're doing this for breakfast, so if you'd like bacon, eggs with it, that's fine, or you can just have it in a bowl as cereal, with or without milk.
And it's good for you?
It's great for you. Of course, it doesn't come in a box. It's not advertised on TV, but you can certainly learn to love it.
Can't wait to taste it.
Taste it.
Yummy.
It looks good. It is good. And this is a great way to introduce yourself to it.
Okay, thanks, Dad.
Thank you.